Hey folks, and welcome back. So, Pillars of Eternity. This is going to be an impressions video. I've got about 7 hours in so far. The game itself is vaunted to last around about 50 plus hours, so I'm just short of about 20% of the way through the game so far. So let's get it right out there up front. I love this game so far. It is absolutely superb. I was and still am a huge fan of the Infinity Engine games such as the Baldur's Gate series, the Icewind Dale series, and of course the seminal Planescape Torment. Pillars is created by the same people that worked on those games back in the day, as Obsidian have a lot of the old Black Isle staffers who were responsible for creating and publishing those games back then. Pillars, however, is a completely new IP. It's completely unrelated to the D&D license. The game takes place in a country called Darewood, and the protagonist is the lone survivor of a caravan that was wiped out by locals. The player then soon after finds out that they're what is called a Watcher, and that they have the ability to see into the souls and pasts of the people around them, and this includes the dead. Now, experience in this game isn't gained from combat. It's quite different in that regard. Experience can only be gained from completing quests and exploring new areas. It's sort of a cross between the combat of Icewind Dale and the more talkative Planescape Torment, so it's pretty much in line with Baldur's Gate in that regard, because Baldur's Gate was sort of a mix of the two, whereas Icewind Dale was more combat heavy and was more about getting through the encounters. Planescape Torment was more about raiding and talking to people and discovering your past. Baldur's Gate, again, similar to Pillars, complete mix of the two. It was more middle of the road. Speaking of combat in this game, it's a micromanager's joy. Gameplay is a series of regular pauses to issue commands to your party. Move out of AoE effects, flanking enemies, buffing allies, debuffing enemies, switching weapons, using consumables, etc. You can play the game in real time, but you'll die. A lot. You will die regularly if you do that. You need to pause the game often to direct the actions of your party if you're going to have any chance of success. Even 2 enemies can wipe out your party if you're not smart about your gameplay. That said, it's a lot more forgiving than the Baldur's Gate games, for example. Here, being knocked down to 0 health knocks you out, and if your party goes on to win the encounter, you bounce back up again. Whereas in Baldur's Gate, if your health hit 0, you were dead. That said, you do have an endurance bar that reduces each time you take damage and each time you're knocked out, and if that hits 0, then you are probably dead. The other side of the coin here is the talking to locals, quest givers, pumping people for more information about current quests, gathering new quests. There's quite a lot to read. Even small parts of the gameplay are like sort of text-based vignettes akin to the old choose-your-own adventure books. It allows for more variation in gameplay style and allows you to imagine parts of gameplay that would have been probably more problematic to actually implement in-game. However, those sections are enjoyable and give a different flavour to the game now and again. Again, seeing into the past of those whose souls you can touch does require quite a bit of reading and makes you make use of your imagination, because the pictures that these sort of small encounters paints do require you to use your imagination if you're going to get the most from this game. Overall, the game does require patience. It requires a lot of it. This is not a Diablo clickfest. It's a more considered, deliberate experience, and it rewards strategy and thought. Overall, it's a superb game, like I said at the top of this video. As a fan of the Infinity Engine games, this is not only a throwback in a good way, it's a perfect homage to those games, and brings this style of CRPG right up to date. If, like me, you love the Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale sort of games, please go and pick this up. It is a magnificent game. It's well worthy of the praises being heaped on it currently by reviewers worldwide. It is a joy to play, and the time and the care put into this by Obsidian is plain to see. This is one of the biggest successes from the Kickstarter campaigns so far. There are more to come, likes of Torment Numenera, and of course the new Underworld Ascendance game that has been recently funded as well. So keep an eye out for more of those sorts of games coming out from the likes of Kickstarter. But this is a vindication of the Kickstarter model. It really is. It's hugely superb. I love it so far. So that's what I thought about Pillars of Eternity. It's a great game. Please go and pick it up if you like RPGs at all. If you don't, still go and pick it up anyway. So until next time, cheerio.